Humanity's past is filled with mysteries, and new archaeological discoveries continue to uncover astonishing secrets. From lost monuments to bizarre artifacts, every discovery reveals another piece of our history. And today we're going to explore 15 strange discoveries that left scientists confused. So, be prepared to see discoveries that make absolutely zero sense. We're starting with number 15, Roswell magnetic stone. Roswell is already famous for stories involving mysterious UFO sightings, but another strange object discovered there has quietly puzzled researchers for years. Back in 2004, a local resident discovered an unusual stone unlike anything experts had seen before. Someone had carved a complex geometric design across its surface with astonishing precision. Yet under microscopic examination, no traces of cutting tools or machinery could be found. There are no scratches, abrasions, or marks anywhere around the engraved patterns. It almost appears as though the symbols formed naturally inside the stone itself, which should be impossible. But the mystery becomes even stranger. The object is magnetic. When a magnet is placed near one crescent shape carved into the stone begins rotating clockwise. Move the magnet toward the opposite crescent, and it spins the other direction instead. Researchers still have no explanation for how this works. To make matters even more bizarre, the exact same design appeared years earlier inside a famous crop circle discovered in England back in 1996. Whether a coincidence or something far stranger or otherworldly, nobody has ever managed to explain the connection. Number 14. The prosthetic Scythian jaw. About 2,500 years ago, a woman living in Siberia underwent a surgical procedure so advanced it honestly shouldn't have been possible for ancient people to perform. Archaeologists discovered the mummified remains of a Scythian woman during excavations in 1994, but years later, scientists made an astonishing discovery hidden inside her skull. Part of her jaw had been reconstructed using a primitive prosthetic system. Some researchers believe the woman suffered a devastating facial injury that destroyed part of her temporomandibular joint, the area connecting the jaw to the skull. Under normal circumstances, such damage would have left her unable to eat or speak properly. Yet CT scans revealed tiny drilled canals inside the damaged bones along with traces of horsehair and animal tendon used to stabilize the joint. The prosthetic allowed her jaw to function despite the severe injury. Evidence of healing around the drilled areas proves she survived the surgery afterward. Considering this operation happened thousands of years before modern anesthesia or surgical equipment existed, the discovery completely changes what we thought ancient nomadic cultures were capable of medically. Number 13. The Foggara of Adrar. The Romans weren't the only ones capable of incredible engineering. Deep within the Adrar region of Algeria lies another incredible achievement known as a Foggara. At first, the desert landscape appears totally lifeless, which makes the existence of this ancient irrigation network even harder to believe. Through systems like these, ancient engineers managed to transport fresh water from distant hills directly into towns and settlements located far away from the source. The idea sounds simple, but the execution was extraordinary. Builders would locate mountains with underground water near their peaks, then carve long tunnels beneath the slopes to guide the water downward by gravity alone. Eventually, the water collected inside artificial reservoirs where entire communities could survive in brutal desert conditions. It functions similarly to an aqueduct, except hidden underground. Historians believe the earliest versions of these systems originated in Persia more than 2,000 years ago, but the Algerian examples are considered vastly more advanced in both scale and complexity. Even today, constructing something comparable in such harsh terrain would be a big challenge for modern engineers. Number 12. This ancient Egypt drill. Archaeologists in Egypt uncovered an object so advanced that some scientists genuinely struggle to explain how it could exist. The tiny artifact dates back roughly 5,300 years, meaning it predates dynastic Egypt itself. In other words, this tool is older than the pyramids and older than the pharaohs. At first glance, it looks insignificant, but researchers now believe it may completely reshape our understanding of ancient Egyptian technology. The object is a prehistoric bow drill made from a surprisingly complex metal alloy containing copper, arsenic, nickel, silver, and lead. Experts say the combination of metals shows an advanced understanding of metallurgy far beyond what should have existed at the time. Even stranger, microscopic analysis revealed wear marks, proving the drill spun rapidly as part of a rotary drilling system. Scientists originally thought Egyptians didn't possess this kind of technology until nearly 2,000 years later. That raises a disturbing question. If ancient Egyptians mastered advanced drilling so early, where did that knowledge actually come from? Well, who knows? Number 11. The Thing. Back in mid-2020, scientists working in Antarctica became fascinated by a super bizarre potato-shaped fossil discovered on Seymour Island. At first glance, nobody could understand exactly what the strange object was supposed to be. But after detailed examination, researchers realized they had uncovered a 68-million-year-old soft-shelled egg, unlike anything previously discovered. The fossil confused experts so much that they gave it the nickname, the Thing. Scientists now believe it is the second largest egg ever found and may have belonged to an unknown species of giant marine reptile that lived during the age of the dinosaurs. The find completely challenged previous beliefs surrounding creatures like mosasaurs and long-necked plesiosaurs. Until this fossil was uncovered, researchers thought these reptiles gave birth to live offspring instead of laying eggs. Paleontologist Rodrigo Otero from the University of Chile admitted that neither he nor his colleagues had ever encountered anything similar before. Sadly, no embryo was discovered inside the egg, leaving the creature's true appearance a complete mystery. Number 10. The City of Agartha. Legends from around the world speak of hidden realms beneath the earth, but few stories are stranger than the supposed underground city of Agartha. According to the myth, a vast civilization exists deep below the planet's surface inside a hollow section of the earth inhabited by giants, strange creatures, and an advanced hidden society. While modern science completely rejects the idea of a hollow Earth, belief in underground worlds has existed for centuries. Ancient cultures often imagined the interior of the planet as a realm of the dead or the location of supernatural kingdoms. The modern hollow Earth theory began taking shape during the 17th century when astronomer Edmund Halley proposed that the Earth might contain several hollow layers rotating around a central core. Halley based the theory on unusual magnetic readings long before scientists understood Earth's true structure. Over time, writers and mystics expanded the idea into elaborate legends involving underground suns, gigantic forests, enormous beasts, and the mysterious city of Agartha itself. According to some stories, an ancient race called the Agarthans still lives there in secret. But as we know, who knows the truth? Number 9. Wayland's Smithy. Wayland's Smithy sounds more like the name of a medieval blacksmith than an archaeological site. Yet hidden in Oxfordshire, England, stands one of Britain's oldest Neolithic burial monuments. The chambered barrow dates back roughly 5,600 years and is believed to have been constructed not long after agriculture first reached Britain through settlers arriving from mainland Europe. Historians think the tomb was built by an early pastoral community whose lives were beginning to shift away from hunting and toward farming. Structures like this are unique to southern Britain and belong to a style known as the Severn Cotswold type. Archaeologists believe the monument was built in two phases. The earliest version appears to have been a timber burial mound, while the larger stone chamber visible today was added around a century later. The unusual name comes from an old local legend claiming travelers could leave a horse tied near the stones overnight with a small payment, and by morning the horse would supposedly be perfectly shod. Nobody knows how the legend began, but the mystery surrounding Wayland's Smithy has endured for thousands of years. Number 8. The African Star Map Disc. In 2025, archaeologists excavating a burial site connected to the ancient Dogon people of Mali uncovered a mysterious stone disc engraved with incredibly detailed cosmological patterns. Initially, experts assumed the artifact was ceremonial in nature, but infrared imaging and astronomical mapping software revealed something astonishing hidden within the carvings. The disk appeared to contain a highly accurate map of the Sirius star system, including Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C, a celestial body only recently discussed through advanced telescope observations. The Dogon people have long fascinated researchers because of their unexplained knowledge of Sirius, including details invisible to the naked eye and unknown to modern science until the 20th century. According to Dogon oral traditions, beings from Sirius once visited Earth and passed this knowledge to their ancestors. What makes the discovery even more unsettling is the age of the artifact itself. Dating back to roughly 2000 BC, the disk contains orbital paths, distance ratios, and stellar alignments carved with astonishing precision. No known African civilization from that era should have possessed such advanced astronomical understanding. Number 7. The Moche priestesses. The Moche civilization ruled large regions of Peru between 100 and 800 AD and became known for both their agricultural achievements and their brutal ritual sacrifices. Archaeologists have long understood that human sacrifice played a major role in Moche religious life, but discoveries made in 1991 completely changed what historians believed about power within their society. During excavations at San Jose de Moro, researchers uncovered the tombs of several elite Moche priestesses buried with great wealth and ceremonial objects. The women wore elaborate golden headdresses resembling royal crowns, unlike anything previously discovered in Peru. Their tombs overflowed with ritual goblets, offerings, and symbols tied with sacrifice ceremonies. Researchers soon realized these women were not merely spiritual figures, but among the highest-ranking authorities in Moche culture. The priestesses likely supervised ritual sacrifices and maintained direct connections to the ruling elite. The Moche believed these women had sacred knowledge and unique relationships with the gods themselves. Some historians compare them to the oracles of ancient Greece, although the Moche priestesses appear to have wielded far greater political and ceremonial influence than most female religious figures in the ancient world. Number 6. House of Taga. The House of Taga on the island of Tinian is famous despite the fact that the house itself no longer exists. What remains are enormous stone pillars scattered across the landscape, many still standing while others have collapsed over time. Archaeologists believe these giant stones once supported a massive stilt house built thousands of years ago, possibly during the Neolithic era. Originally, the pillars stood nearly 15 feet tall and were topped with rounded capstones that acted as supports for a structure made primarily from wood and thatch. Elevating the building high above the ground would have protected its occupants from floods, insects, and dangerous wildlife. According to local legend, the stones were carried and positioned by a giant named Taga, who supposedly lifted them into place with his bare hands. Another version of the story claims Taga was actually an ancient chieftain who constructed the enormous home to impress a woman he loved from the nearby island of Rota. Whether either story is true remains impossible to know because the original structure was likely destroyed centuries ago by a devastating earthquake. Number 5. The Sumerian lithium battery. In February 2025, a joint Iraqi-German archaeological expedition uncovered a strange sealed clay vessel inside the ruins of a Sumerian temple near Eridu, one of the oldest known cities on Earth. At first glance, the artifact resembled the famous Baghdad Battery, the mysterious 2,000-year-old object many researchers believe functioned as an ancient galvanic cell. But once scientists performed X-ray diffraction analysis and atomic mass spectrometry, the discovery became even more shocking. Hidden inside the jar were the remains of a deteriorated anode and cathode system, traces of lithium salts, and a tightly wound copper coil embedded within hardened clay. When researchers carefully reconstructed the device under laboratory conditions, it generated measurable electrical voltage roughly equivalent to a 1.2-volt battery. The most astonishing detail, however, was its age. Carbon dating of the surrounding rock layers placed the object around 3100 BC, making it more than 5,000 years old and far older than the traditional Baghdad battery. Even stranger, lithium was not officially discovered or mined until the 19th century, raising impossible questions about ancient scientific knowledge. Number 4. Taos Pueblo. The settlement of Taos Pueblo has been continuously inhabited for more than 1,000 years, making it one of the oldest living communities in North America. Despite its incredible history, surprisingly few people outside the region even know it exists. Taos Pueblo holds the rare distinction of being the only living Native American community granted World Heritage Site status by UNESCO, while also being recognized as a National Historic Landmark by the United States government. Even with all that recognition, much of its history remains hidden from outsiders. The Taos people preserve their past through oral traditions, but those stories are rarely shared publicly. Today, only around 150 residents still live within the pueblo. Although the structure appears to be one huge building, it's actually made up of multiple homes connected by shared walls instead of doors or windows. The thick adobe walls require constant maintenance, with fresh layers of earth regularly added to keep them stable. Visitors are allowed inside certain areas, but many secrets of Taos Pueblo may disappear forever once its final residents are gone. Number 3. Tomb of Metjetju. Archaeologists in Egypt found a mysterious tomb belonging to one of the most powerful officials of the ancient Egyptian state. According to inscriptions discovered inside the burial chamber, the man's name was Metjetju, and he served as a top-ranking administrator with direct access to royal sealed documents and state secrets. Researchers compare his position to something like the director of a modern intelligence agency, responsible for protecting highly sensitive information connected to the pharaohs. His tomb was discovered near the famous step pyramid of Djoser, the first pyramid ever built in Egypt. For centuries, important officials continued to be buried close to the pyramid complex as a sign of prestige and loyalty to the royal court. Historical records indicate Metjetju served during the reigns of several 6th dynasty rulers, including Teti and Pepi I, sometime between 2323 and 2255 BC. Inscriptions also describe him as an inspector of the royal estate and a priest connected to funerary rituals surrounding the pharaoh. Unfortunately, despite his impressive titles, the actual documents and secrets he once protected have never been found, leaving experts still searching for answers hidden inside the tomb. Number 2. Seahhenge. For centuries, nobody realized that one of Britain's strangest Bronze Age monuments was hidden beneath the sands of the Norfolk coastline. The site became known as Seahhenge after it emerged in 1998 near the village of Home when shifting tides exposed a circle of ancient wooden posts surrounding an upside-down tree stump at the center. While the name suggests similarities to Stonehenge, archaeologists point out there's no evidence the structure was actually a henge at all. Even so, it was undeniably constructed by human hands nearly 4,000 years ago. The oak posts, which originally stood around 10 feet high, were preserved beneath the wet coastal sands for thousands of years. Researchers believe the area would have once been a salt marsh, and once the timbers became exposed, the sea quickly began destroying them. To prevent further damage, the entire monument was carefully removed and transferred to the Lynn Museum, where it remains on display today. Historians suspect Seahhenge may have been a burial or ritual site, but in truth, nobody fully understands its original purpose or meaning. Number 1. Joggins Fossil Cliffs. The Joggins Fossil Cliffs in Nova Scotia preserve one of the most incredible records of ancient life ever discovered on Earth. Stretching along the coastline, the cliffs contain fossils dating back more than 300 million years. Among the discoveries found here is the fossil of what scientists believe to be the world's earliest known reptile. along with astonishingly detailed fossilized trees from an ancient prehistoric forest. It sounds almost impossible to imagine today, but millions of years ago, Nova Scotia was covered in thick jungles and swamps filled with strange life forms. The reptile discovered here is called Hylonomus lieli, later named the official provincial fossil of Nova Scotia in 2002. The site itself became so important to science that Charles Darwin even mentioned it in his famous book On the Origin of Species. Constant erosion from massive tides and harsh weather slowly exposes new fossils hidden deep inside the cliffs, making the area one of the most valuable fossil sites in the world. Well, that's all from us. Thanks for watching, and be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.